Whopper, 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 Junior, Double, Triple, Whopper.
Get me a Whopper.
Did you know why frontman James Hetfield tuned his guitar down on Metallica's Load and Reload albums? Or that there is a disgusting story behind the making of the album covers? What about the popular singer and actress that drank with Metallica in the studio? Stick around as we answer these questions and more on 10 Fun Facts About Load and Reload by Metallica. Number 1. Tuning down. All songs on Metallica's Load were recorded in E-flat. The band had previously recorded individual songs in E-flat or lower, but Load would be the first time that they recorded an entire album this way. For those of you who are not musicians, the traditional standard tuning of a guitar begins in the key of E. Some musicians prefer to tune their guitars down a half step to E-flat, because it can be easier for a singer with a lower voice to sing along with. It can also make performing those screeching heavy metal solos a tad bit easier, as tuning a guitar down loosens up the strings a little bit, allowing them more flexibility to bend. Most songs on Reload would also be recorded in E-flat, with the exception of Devil's Dance and Bad Seed, which were tuned even lower to D and D-flat. As guitarist Kirk Hammett explains, "I started tuning to E-flat for my riff tapes because I copied a lot of Hendrix stuff. You know, I used to try to figure out Jimi Hendrix solos, Stevie Ray Vaughan solos, Thin Lizzy solos, and those three bands tuned to E-flat, and so a lot of my riffs were in E-flat. And I guess when James would hear the riffs tuned in E-flat and he'd try to sing to them, I think he kind of liked it. He liked the break it kind of gave his voice. He didn't have to pitch that extra half step. And that's also why on both Load and Reload, the primary tuning is E-flat rather than E."
Once there was this kid who...
Number 2. Behind the album cover. Have you ever looked at the album art for Metallica's Load or Reload and wondered what the heck it was supposed to be? Perhaps you were like me and assumed it was an abstract painting of a flame, or maybe a lava lamp. Well, I'm afraid that the answer is something far more disgusting. In fact, the artwork isn't a painting at all. The image was created by artist Andre Serrano, who was creating a series of artistic photographs with bodily fluids. The image used for Metallica's Load was made by mixing bovine blood with, well, let's just say he mixed it with his own happy creamy feelings before he smashed the mixture between two sheets of glass and took a picture of it.
Sometimes our happy, creamy feeling just gets so full it comes out at night.
I was having happy dreams about a girl.
All right, Butters, it's happy feelings. Let's just not talk about it.
Okay, Dad. Ooh, save that for later.
And suddenly, the title Load makes me feel much more uncomfortable. The image for Reload was created using the same bovine blood mixed with a yellow liquid. I'll let you guess what that yellow liquid is and where it came from.
It's pee! Look out for the pee!
Artist Andre Serrano spoke with Metal Hammer in 2022. It was Kirk and Lars who asked for the picture for Load. I met with them at Paula Cooper Gallery in New York, and we arranged for them to use the image for the album, merchandise, and all promotional purposes. I was flattered and honored they wanted it, because it spoke to them. They were drawn to it, and I'm glad they were, because the image and album was a match made in heaven. It was part of a series called Bodily Fluids. They were photographs intended to look like paintings. I bought the blood at the butcher. It would be labeled edible beef blood, and I would buy a gallon of it whenever I needed it. The blood would darken after a day, so I thought I needed fresh blood to get the bright red. Later, someone told me to put the dark blood in a blender, and it would brighten up again. I think the images were a hit. I read a review once where the Load album was named number 1 on the list of best album covers. We know Lars and Kirk were happy with it, but James was not. I think James is still fuming.
I feel like I'm gonna explode here!
Frontman James Hetfield was a tad uncomfortable with the artwork, but he was a good sport and went along with the concept, which had been picked out by guitarist Kirk Hammett after he discovered Serrano's work on the music video for Crush My Soul by Godsmack. As Hetfield told Classic Rock magazine, "The whole cover thing, it went against what I was feeling. How can I put this? Lars and Kirk were very into abstract art, pretending they were gay. I think they knew it bugged me. It was a statement around all that. I love art, but not for the sake of shocking others. I think the cover of Load was just a piss take around all that. I just went along with the makeup and all of this crazy stupid shit they felt they needed to do." In regards to using the same artist and concept for Reload, Hetfield had this to say: "I hated it, but it had to match. It's a matching hatred. I'm not a big fan of the man and his perversions. There's art, and then there's just sick MFers, and he's one of them. The thing is, they belong together. I don't care if the guy blows donkeys. The art had to match."
I'm being creative. Now, if you'll excuse me, I still have some work to do.
Oh, poor twisted me. Oh, poor twisted me.
Number 3. Identity crisis. Some people say that change is a good thing. However, the heavy metal community in 1996 was not one of these people. Many people were quite bothered by the fact that Metallica changed their image for Load by altering their logo, and, well, this would also mark the first time that fans would see Metallica without their signature long heavy metal hair, and fans were not very happy. This wasn't helped by the fact that the inner artwork for Load featured photos of the band members in a variety of outfits which felt more like something out of Vogue or Cosmopolitan magazine, such as this white tank top and suspenders look. James Hetfield deflected blame towards his bandmates, claiming it was all their decision. Lars and Kirk drove on those records. The whole "we need to reinvent ourselves" topic was up. Image is not an evil thing for me, but if the image is not you, then it doesn't make much sense. I think they were really after a U2 kind of vibe. Bono doing his alter ego. I couldn't get into it. The whole, okay, now in this photo shirt we're going to be 70s glam rockers. Like what? I would say half, at least half. The pictures that were to be in the booklet, I yanked out. The whole cover thing, it went against what I was feeling.
They're off to find the hero of the day.
The Metallica frontman would later go on to say, "There always has to be some kind of compromise, especially when you've got 4 guys in a band. You've got 2 guys that are really driving the thing, Lars and myself, and when we don't agree, there has to be a compromise. The Load and Reload era, for me, was one of those. I wasn't 100% on with it, but I would say that that was a compromise. I said, I'm going with Lars and Kirk's vision on this. You guys are extremely passionate about this, so I'll jump on board. Because if the 4 of us are into it, it's going to be better. So I did my best with it, and it didn't pan out as good as I was hoping. But, again, there's no regrets, because at the time, it felt like the right thing to do. We don't like boundaries and limits. Heavy metal has the impression that it's a bit punk, like, F the world, and we're us, we're doing things our way. And that's fine until you don't fit into their way. You know, cutting your hair, or not wearing a leather jacket, or whatever. Doing a ballad. That was one of the things that set us apart right away. I remember almost getting in a fight with a fan in San Francisco, and the guy said, F you sellout, you did a video for MTV and blah blah blah. I felt the need to defend us. It's like, why do I need to justify our art to you? It disappointed us that fans would get angry at you for being an artist, or doing what you feel you want to do to explain yourself to the world, or to connect with the world.
Steven, I didn't sell out, son. I bought in. Keep that in mind.
In a separate interview, James would add, "Fast thrash just wasn't exciting to us anymore, really. If I wrote it, then we'd use it, but none of us were writing that stuff. On Fuel, there was some pretty quick downpicking, just kind of moving around with the root notes, but that's about it. It was a little more exciting for us to figure out more effed up chords, things that grind, dissonant bits. In a few of the songs, there's helter-skelter tension built in there. That kind of stuff excited us more than the speed stuff."
Want to hear some music? Alright, rock and roll.
Number 4. No double album. Metallica originally wanted to release Load and Reload as a double album. However, once the band began working on the material, they decided it was best if they made 2 separate albums instead. Load was recorded over 10 months at The Plant in Sausalito, California, between May 1995 and February 1996, with the album released on June 4th. Metallica would take any leftover material back to the same studio in July of 1997, where they spent the following 3 or 4 months fleshing out what would become Reload, released in November of that year. Guitarist Kirk Hammett spoke with Guitar World. "We were going to do them both as a double album, but we didn't want to spend that long in the studio. Also, if we did a double album, it would have been a lot more material for people to digest, and some of it might have gotten lost in the shuffle." Number 5. Dr. No. Producer Bob Rock has worked with a variety of talented artists, including Motley Crue, Aerosmith, and David Lee Roth. He also had great results working with Metallica on their self-titled Black album, so Metallica brought him back to work on their 5th and 6th studio album, Load and Reload. However, this decision didn't come without its own little controversy. Metallica are a no-nonsense band and often enter the studio knowing exactly what they want to create. This can bother some producers, who often like to have some creative input on the albums they work on. Bob Rock once referred to James Hetfield as Dr. No, because he was always saying no to the producer's suggestions.
Hello.
No,
No what?
no.
Well, all right, then be like that. Here, swallow this.
As he told Louder Sound, "There's always a warming up period on every project, and it just took a while longer with them. They had one way of doing things, and they didn't really trust outsiders. Not just me, they were suspicious of everybody. I can say that I'd never been involved with people who were as intense as them, but the tensions came when I challenged them or they challenged me. It was never personal. But the thing is, I never said, 'No, you're wrong.' I just showed them other ways to potentially get what they wanted. It's well known that by the end, both engineer Randy Staub and I said we didn't want to work with them again. But that's because we were so beat. 8 months in that environment would test anyone. But some of the best work comes out of tension. With all the great bands, Jagger and Richards in the Stones, Steven Tyler and Joe Perry in Aerosmith, there's friction. Metallica are not wimps. They believe that they're the best band in the world, and everyone else needs to get out of the way. In this industry, when something has the impact that the Black album did, it only makes sense to put that team back together. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. The previous sessions were intense, but when we started Load, we put all that had happened behind us and moved on. To be clear, I have lots of happy memories from the Black album too. They're great people to hang out with, and we had a lot of fun. My 15 years working with Metallica were some of the best times of my life."
Feeling better?
No,
What a lot of lovely comics you've got. Do you like them?
no.
Right.
Number 6. ManBearPig.
I'm cereal. Some people say that ManBearPig isn't real. Well, I'm here to tell you now, ManBearPig is very real, and he most certainly exists. I'm cereal. ManBearPig doesn't care who you are or what you've done. ManBearPig simply wants to get you. I'm super cereal.
Seriously, what is that thing? The music video for Until It Sleeps has always tripped me out, with the weird man-pig creature that gave me the heebie-jeebies as a late-night MTV watching youngster in the mid-90s. One of those things where, as much as it creeps you out, you also can't help but look at it either. I've always felt that the monster represented addiction, or some kind of darkness deep down within a person. Allegedly, James Hetfield wrote the song while reflecting on childhood trauma surrounding his mother, who battled cancer until it took her life when James was only 16 years old. Metallica's surreal music video for the song is inspired by the paintings of Hieronymus Bosch. Is that pronounced Bosch or Bosch? A funny story. My parents used to take my sister and I to Old Town San Diego when we were kids. We would usually go to one of the delicious Mexican food restaurants in the area, And while we were waiting for a seat, us kids would go play around on a replica cannon that was on display in the courtyard. My sister and I got confused as all heck when my buddy started yelling, "Bosh!" Now, I don't know what that particular kid's childhood was like, but I guess I would have used words like kaboom or pow when playing with a cannon, not Bosh. But anyways.
Fire in the hole.
Bosh! 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 The music video for Until It Sleeps was directed by Samuel Bayer, who has made a lot of memorable music videos for major rock bands such as Green Day's American Idiot.
Don't wanna be an American idiot.
Or Bullet with Butterfly Wings by Smashing Pumpkins. And Welcome to the Black Parade by My Chemical Romance.
Join the Black Parade.
Among many, many more. Can you guess which music video Samuel Bayer directed for Nirvana? If you're like me and guessed that it was Heart-Shaped Box,
where do I take this pain of mine?
Based on the use of similar surrealistic religious imagery and themes,
I've been locked inside your heart-shaped box before.
You would be incorrect. He actually directed the music video for Smells Like Teen Spirit. Hey! While working on Until It Sleeps, Sam took inspiration from a handful of Bosch paintings, most notably a work called The Garden of Earthly Delights, a painting known as a triptych, which features 3 panels of related artwork. The first panel portrays the Garden of Eden. I don't know what kind of gospel this man is spreading, but he seems to be having quite a profound experience. The middle panel portrays humans enjoying their time on Earth, doing a lot of, shall we call them shenanigans? The third and final panel represents hell, where we can find the man-bird frog monster eating people that Metallica borrowed for the third act of the music video.
Yum yum. Thank you for cutting your hair. Now I can digest you.
Now that I think about it, the man-bear-pig creature may represent the biblical Adam's original sin, as the pig beast can be seen with an apple in his mouth, which had earlier been hanging on the tree at the beginning of the video. Or maybe it's just a barbecue reference.
Yon meet too sweet as summer's wafting breeze.
Can I hit them?
Mine ears are open only to the pleas of those who speak ye old English.
Where do I take this pain of mine? I run, but it stays right by my side.
Whatever.
Number 7. Exit Sandman.
Whopper, 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 Junior, Double, Triple, Whopper.
Get me a Whopper.
Be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. Appears to be the theme that surrounds Metallica's King Nothing, a song about somebody so obsessed with fame and power that he doesn't care about anything else and will stop at nothing to achieve their goal, all the while oblivious to the fact that their fame and power ultimately means very little. The music video focuses on a king, or let's just call him a guy with a Burger King crown. As he wanders around the middle of absolutely nowhere, tossing his crown aside only to go full-on Bugs Bunny by pulling an identical crown out of nowhere and placing it back upon his head, until he throws that one on the ground too, and the cycle continues. Technically, the middle of nowhere was Park City, Utah, where the video was filmed by director Matt Mahurin. You may recognize some other music videos he's created, including Primal Scream by Motley Crue, Little Things by Bush, or Angry Chair by Alice in Chains. He also worked with Metallica previously on their video for The Unforgiven. And would work with them again for the music video of The Unforgiven 2. because who else would you get to direct a sequel music video to a sequel song other than the man who directed the first one? Fans have speculated whether Metallica are singing about themselves due to the lines "Off to Never Neverland" sung at the end of King Nothing, which were borrowed from Enter Sandman, which was one of Metallica's chart-topping singles from their previous self-titled album. Metallica were arguably the kings of thrash metal at the time. Perhaps the band felt that this title ultimately didn't mean much, as they elected to take their music in a different direction for Load and Reload. One fan in particular suggests that James Hetfield was messing around with playing the Enter Sandman guitar riff backwards, which evolved into the riff for King Nothing. I'm not sure if this is true or not, but I do think I can hear a little bit of a resemblance between the two songs. Can you? Number 8, Bert. Getting Personal. With lyrics that read, "I am the priest that feeds the beast. I am the blood. I am release. I am the priest that feeds the beast." And, "I'm sowing the seeds I take for granted. This thorn in my side is from the tree I've planted."
This thorn in my side is from the tree I've planted.
Bleeding Me is perhaps one of James Hetfield's most personal songs ever written, as the songwriter opens up about his struggles with alcohol addiction and recovery. As he told Playboy in 2001, "Around the time of Load, I felt I wanted to stop drinking. Maybe I'm missing out on something. Everyone else seems happy all the time. I want to get happy. I'd planned my life around a hangover. The Misfits are playing in town on Friday night, so Saturday is hangover day. I lost a lot of days in my life. Going to therapy for a year, I learned a lot about myself. There's a lot of things that scar you when you're growing up, and you don't know why. The song Bleeding Me is about that. I was trying to bleed out all bad, get the evil out. While I was going through therapy, I discovered some ugly stuff in there, a dark spot. I took more than a year off from drinking, and the skies didn't part. It was just life, but less fun. The evil didn't come out. I wasn't laughing, wasn't having a good time. I realized drinking is a part of me. Now I know how far to go. You can't be hungover when you've got kids, man. Dad, get the F off the couch." Well, they don't say that, yet.
I'm pushing to stay with something better.
This really goes beyond my training as a furniture salesman, sir. Now, if you don't want the sofa, I'll have to ask you to leave.
Number 9. Soaked in Whiskey. The Memory Remains is a song that was written during the 1995 Load sessions, but would not be fully completed until 1997 as the first single for Reload. Fortune, fame, mirror vein, gone insane, but the memory remains.
Fortune, fame, mirror vein, gone insane, but the memory remains.
The song describes a Hollywood celebrity who has long outlived their 15 minutes of fame. And whom else would come to mind when thinking of washed-up movie stars besides Marianne Faithfull? After her breakup with Mick Jagger from the Rolling Stones, her career was never quite the same. Okay, I'm kidding, but I really don't know much about Marianne Faithfull other than she was a popular singer and actress from the 60s with a distinctive voice that had allegedly developed as a result of either laryngitis or years of drug abuse, possibly even a combination of the two. This unique vocal characteristic was dubbed whiskey-soaked by some critics. It was also this unique vocal characteristic that caused producer Bob Rock to recommend Marianne to perform guest vocals on The Memory Remains, because he felt her voice would be a good fit for the song. As James Hetfield told an interviewer, "We needed a real character, been through it all voice. We got a hold of her and she agreed to do it. So we flew to Dublin on the way to Belgium. We met up with her in the studio, went in and got her drunk, and then she sang this bit. It was perfect. She definitely had the voice, and it created a real eerie vibe. Marianne Faithfull would also join Metallica on stage to perform the song for Saturday Night Live on December 6, 1997.
Did you know
that I do all of the editing for these videos by myself? Yep, that's right, me, one person, including research, script writing, voiceovers, thumbnails, video editing, promotion. It's a lot of work and requires a full-time job for one person to handle, which I don't mind doing because I love being able to express my humor while also talking about the music that I enjoy. However, it would also be great to have some help improving my content, and that's where I need your help. The easiest way to support this channel is to click the like button. This will help the video get shown to more people. A better way to support this channel is to subscribe and hit the notification bell. This will help you get notified when we release new videos each week. And if you really want to make a big difference, check the description of this video for more ways that you can help this channel grow and support the creation of new content. If you like what we're doing, show us some love and let us know that you're out there. And let us know in the comments what your favorite album is. Perhaps we'll talk about it in a future video. Thank you all so much for your continued love and support. Number 10. Don't Go Jason, Waterfalls.
Don't go chasing waterfalls.
Load and Reload would mark the final albums with Jason Newsted on bass, who had joined the band in 1988 prior to releasing And Justice for All. He had replaced deceased bassist Cliff Burton. Wow, if you want to hear a tragic story, take a peek at our video about the death of Cliff Burton. The poor guy was thrown through a window of a bus as it crashed and flipped over on top of him during Metallica's Damage Inc. tour in 1986. But that's more of a not-so-fun fact about Master of Puppets. If you want to learn more about that, check out our video link in the description. As for Jason Newsted, the story of his departure starts to tread more into territory that we will cover when we discuss Saint Anger. So I won't go into too much detail, but in 2001, Newsted had become more interested in working on his own side project, Echo Brain. This led to some tension between himself and James Hetfield, which almost broke up Metallica. Instead, Jason announced his departure from Metallica on January 17, 2001. He would later go on tour with Ozzy Osbourne, Voivod, and Who Cares, among other projects, before forming his own band called Newsted, although he would return to perform a few songs with Metallica at their Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony on April 4, 2009. He would also join the band on stage for all 4 of their 30th anniversary shows. So he has remained in touch and on good terms with his former colleagues despite the breakup. As he told Rolling Stone in 2009, "I tell you very honestly, 1 billion%, I have never regretted leaving Metallica. It was the right thing for everyone. It was the right thing to do for the camp. That's it. I've never told anyone that I wanted to go back or anything like that. Not once. I made up my mind. It was not an easy thing to do, but it was something I had to do. I thought about it very much before I pulled the trigger, and because of that, I have never looked back. The past is where it's supposed to be."
You look like you've got something to say. Do you?
Yes, I certainly do. I have to go now. My planet needs me.
Did you know that Corey Taylor of Slipknot made a conscious decision to avoid cursing on the band's 3rd studio album? Or that he had a feud with accomplished producer Rick Rubin during the recording process? Why did guitarist Jim Root write a special note on the back of his guitar while in tour to support the album? Stick around as we answer these questions and more on 10 Fun Facts About Volume 3, The Subliminal Verses by Slipknot.